Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to vidIQ, where today we are going to be taking a look at your channels. Yes, your channel, specifically you, maybe. There's a lot of channels, like a lot have already submitted, so maybe not you. The odds are not great, but maybe it could literally be you. Maybe we might have pre-selected it, or it could come up randomly a little bit later on. The forms are down below if you've not submitted your channel, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Rob's here.
Hello, Dan. I'm coming in with shots fired. How are you all on this glorious Tuesday in the middle of summer? At least for us in the northern hemisphere. But with climate change, it's probably also summer in the southern hemisphere as well. Dan is your wonderful host today, which means that I am coasting and I have just one task that I need to do, and we can get started. Oh, that was a good slide. That was a good slide. Let's go live. Let's start auditing some channels.
Yes. Thank you all for being here. We have YouTube pulled up, I swear. We'll get that figured out. While I get that figured out, why don't we show you how this stream actually works?
Let's jump in there. Welcome to the vidIQ channel reviews live stream. Simply fill in the correct form in the video description and your channel will be considered for review during a live stream. Channel reviews are free, so no need to send us a super chat, and don't spam us in the live chat. We'll ignore it and you may be put in timeout. If you need a channel audit right now, make sure to check out the vidIQ Coach AI tool that will help you with strategies, ideas, titles, scripts. Link in the description. It's a game changer. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow creators. Thank you to all of our moderators who help us out on the live stream every week. You know who you are. Give us a like if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and share it with like-minded fellow creators. All right, let's get started.
Okay.
Are we getting started? That's the question.
Yeah, that is a good question. So we will try to see if we don't have technical difficulties today. I have already had like 7 of them before we started, so it's looking great. But we have some yes. No, what?
Just before we do, Dan, let's do the housekeeping first, of course.
Apologies.
Super chats. We welcome them. They do not guarantee you a channel audit, but they will intrigue us if they come with a question, and we will be answering those questions throughout this live stream. And one more final thing, I put a poll just before we went live to ask you, did you see our secret live stream that we did last week? We sprung it on you on Thursday and we went live for a number of minutes and then we just disappeared. Now, the voting poll is telling me here that 56% of you did not see this live stream, which means you've got a problem, a real big problem, which is your notification bell is not turned on. Because we enjoyed it so much, Dan, we're going to do it again, aren't we? We're going to do random, we're not giving you any warning, live streams. And let's just say that there could be another one coming up fairly soon, but we're not going to tell you when. The only way to find out is through that notification bell. So get it ticked. If you want to be involved in stuff like this, channel audits, Q&As, the whole shebang.
But Rob, can't I just watch it after the fact?
No, because you see what we do, or what we sneakily did, is we unlisted the bad boy. So like once it's here and gone, it is gone. You lose out. So yeah, like the live streams, these live streams are permanent. But yeah, these secret ones, we don't know. We may unlist them. We may private them.
Yeah, that could happen. Hate to see it. Okay, so 2 forms down below. As you know, the first person to submit on the non-gaming form was Road Through the Lens. This is a channel that's making like first-person driving content is how they described it. So I wasn't sure if that meant like, oh, like they capture car accidents or whatever, or if this was more of an aesthetic thing. I saw the length of the videos and the way the thumbnails and everything are designed. I think this is literally just driving. The audio is like just car noise. There's no one talking.
Yeah.
And the video is chaptered, like the different places they're going. And it is just first person, like driving in a car content.
It is the equivalent of a walking tour of a city, but it's a driving tour of different parts of Australia. as I understand it from the locations I'm seeing.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, that's what makes it interesting because I'm not from here. I've never been here. And it's really, really interesting to see, just what other places look like through the lens of like just a regular Joe, right? I'm not seeing this in a documentary. I'm not seeing this in a movie. Like someone just took their camera and just went to their city and like walked around or drove around or something. So there is like, I can see the appeal here for sure.
It's certainly not a channel that we've come across before, I don't think. It's long driving experiences. And so I will certainly give them that. And it has a telltale sign of the quality of the journey, with the 4K label in the top right-hand corner. Usually we wouldn't suggest using that, but in these circumstances, I think that's all right. And also, just as a celebration, let's see if my sound effects are working this week. 100 subscribers. I don't know if that is a actual landmark these days. Do you unlock anything at 100 subscribers anymore?
YouTube gives you a little thing and like, hey, congrats.
Let us know in the comments. I mean, certainly get a certificate from vidIQ for free if you have our tools. But yeah, I don't know if you unlock anything at 100 subscribers anymore.
Right. So I bumped it up to 4K just to see. It is indeed 4K footage.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is me nitpicking. I am trying to find things to talk about without telling this, without giving the same advice, because this is a different type of channel that we normally review. I think this channel appeals to a very specific audience, but I think that there is an audience. I would say quality, like the quality of it is what I would be looking to aim to improve. And in this case, it is the windshield glare.
Yeah, I noticed that.
There's one very strong way to eliminate this, which you're probably not going to love, but if you put your camera, hopefully like a GoPro or something, on the outside of your car, like with a plunger thing, stick it on the hood or the roof or something, that will get rid of the glare. Now, the audio will be even worse. You might have to lower that or get rid of it completely. Maybe, I don't know. I probably wouldn't get rid of it, but I would definitely bring it down.
Battery might be an issue as well.
Battery is going to be an issue. GoPros can give you a few hours, like I think in the right conditions. So, well, no, maybe I'm wrong about that. But if you're aware of that and you pull over however often you need to change the battery, whatever. So that is one way you can like deal with that. But I do think like you seem to be proud of the quality of the footage. It's just that a good chunk of the screen is kind of like, depending on where the sun is relative to where your car is, we're going to see the dashboard and stuff, and it's going to be a little bit weird. So that's one thing we could look at. I'm trying to think like maybe there's like some driving tour channels we can look at that do some different stuff. What would I look for? Like,
it's a good question. It is good. What is a searchable element of a driving experience?
London. So, okay. So I just typed in driving tour London.
Yeah.
Now I typed that because London, big popular city. And then someone who just wants that aesthetic there. And these are very long videos too. So the length of the channel we were looking at, good. What I like about these videos are the titles. London 4K Skyscraper District Drive.
Yeah.
Is this the name of the actual street? I don't care. I just know what it means. You know what I mean? It's more approachable to me. London City Drive, driving through the beautiful streets of central London West End. Instead of being very specific about point A and point B, cities I've never heard of before in your title, like the channel we were looking at, maybe you could try some more of these types of titles. Because right now it's driving from Albany to Flinders. Sorry if I'm saying all these wrong. Flinders Street Station. So it's like, it's exactly what you're doing, but there's no like hype there. Like what am I going to see along the way?
I think it does limit the potential audience to people who probably live in that area, wherever that is in Australia. And as you say, Dan, driving through a city is far more interesting than maybe driving from point A to point B, where there might just be a lot of countryside and random fields and stuff, which aren't particularly interesting to a viewer. If you saw my most popular, they have at least a couple which have a few thousand views, and you see Airport Drive. Okay, that might be interesting to people who are maybe landing at, I guess, Melbourne Airport and need to have an idea of how to get out of the airport. That might be interesting. Dan's cat is going crazy in the background.
It's just all day with this.
Thumbs up for Dan's cat. Dan's cat. And as you can see, when there's skyscrapers or tall buildings in the thumbnails, that kind of seems to have more intrigue and curiosity. Yeah. Another interesting thing about the videos themselves is that it is literally just the sound of the wheels going along the road. Like, could you turn it into a musical relaxation experience? Potentially. Or could it become a narration journey where you're talking to your audience? I don't know. This is a decision that the creator needs to make. But Dan, if you click on the most popular video, which has 2,000 views, and then look at the engagement, 0 likes and a single comment. So they're not generating engagement, building a community, perhaps encouraging people to come back. So my guess is, again, this is probably a one and done video per viewer. They're not returning. So some real challenging questions for the creator about how they make a driving experience in and around Melbourne, I presume, in Australia. How does that become more interesting to your audience? And it may be that you want to try, let's have a look at this, Albury to Flinders Street Station. That's 3 hours. Is there a 20-minute segment there, which is actually really far more interesting than anything else? And then, as you say, Dan, you turn it into the commercial district drive of this experience.
Yeah. So, like, this.
Yeah, there's a lot of this.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, for where you are, there's not much you could do about that. Like, what you're doing is a point A to point B kind of thing. I guess what we're both kind of saying is you can keep the level of intrigue high if you stay in those more populated areas with a lot of like visual stimulation, you know.
Yeah.
I can look at a couple of like big open fields and see cattle or something and go, oh, that's kind of cool. But like, look how long this chapter is, and it's just all open road.
Freeway.
You know? Yeah. So, and this is not to criticize the creator at all. This is just, when you look at driving toward London videos, you realize that they're only going to stay, they're long, but they are going to stay in London. So I can already assume, because it's like skyscraper district drive, like they're going to be in London. I'm going to see stuff, like I'm going to see it from a real human perspective, but these are potentially places I've seen in movies and TV shows. And like, you know, there's only so many cities you can visit and do this in, but I would definitely recommend getting some of those videos on your channel. Don't drive from point A to point B. Stay in one location and just go everywhere. Do a tour. Like, plan your route. Try it out. It's an experiment, you know, and could be a very interesting thing for your channel.
Final point from me, Dan, from a video quality point of view. So just pause it here. Well, just go to one of the videos and pause. You can't see it, but they do have the driving statistics at the very bottom of the screen, but it's covered by the player.
Yeah.
Now that includes stuff like time, speed. You could maybe turn that into something a bit more interesting. I think that might be geolocation, perhaps, at the end there. You could maybe almost turn that into a graphical dashboard and put it in one of the corners, you know, where there's not much happening. That is an additional thought. Yeah. But that then requires some editing. And, you know, how much editing is this creator actually doing?
True. So there you go. There's their first channel. Very interesting road through the lens. I like the name and the channel art, all that, like very on brand, very cool. Yep. And hopefully we've given you some tips and some places you can start that inspire you. All right. Now we'll move on to the first gaming channel that's submitted. Ooh, now, this one's a little bit interesting. Normally, when we think gaming channel, we think Let's Plays and things like that. But the reason we're looking at this one is because they post on the gaming forum. And usually when I see a channel that's on the wrong forum, I'm like, oh, you're on the wrong forum. But in this case, no, this is right. They understand that their audience is a gaming audience, you know, because who's buying graphics cards? Gaming channels. So what's cool about this channel right off the bat is broad appeal, because this isn't, I mean, it's PC people. Sure, you're not going to get Xbox people watching this unless they're building a computer, but very broad appeal. It's not about a specific game. It's about hardware. So we're looking really at a tech channel, but a tech channel that's catering to gaming. So we're already solid start, solid niche. And they've only been doing this for a few months, and their first video get 8,000 views.
Very nice.
Yeah. Strong thumbnails too, just out of the gate. I could definitely recommend a few improvements, but I mean, you're comparing two graphics cards, you're putting your face in the thumbnails, reacting in different ways. So all the hallmarks there of a really, really strong start. Would not be surprised if this was someone's like second or third attempt at YouTube, if they've done stuff in the past before.
Yeah, a classic thumbnail design, YouTube expression versus the hero of the content, those being the graphics cards. You know, we talk about what's the greatest desire of a person who watches finance channels, and that's to make money, save money, etc., etc. What is the great desire of a gamer who's into their hardware? Performance, frames per second. And that is front and center on the thumbnails. So absolutely perfect start for this channel. What I'm actually surprised that Dan is given the view counts, which are in the thousands, the subscriber count is still relatively low. I think it's at like under 250. So there may be missing opportunities here for a call to action, just to ask people to subscribe. You know, usually we don't say that subscribers are that important, but when you're working towards monetization, you do want to reach that milestone. And I would say you're probably getting the watch hours into place fairly quickly. You're probably at tens of thousands of views with these 7 to 12 minute videos. So you're looking at thousands of hours of watch time already. So yeah, Dan, let's go to the specifics of the thumbnails and like what maybe they could improve slightly. I find the backgrounds perhaps maybe a bit too colorful and bright. Maybe they need to just be toned down a little bit.
Yeah, I would love to see these in more of a real room setting, but a clean background. So like table with a clean backdrop. Because here's what's happening. Like this Ryzen one, I feel like could have been a lot better. So you have a red background, but for some reason you've chosen to make the box, which is I've actually had this one of their processors before. So their box is kind of a warm color tone, but it's not like red like this. It makes it hard to understand from a quick glance, like, oh, that's the Ryzen processor box. You know, it's the way the photo is. I don't know. You've tried to cut it out and put a glow around it, but I'm just the middle of that. And in the middle of the glow, I can't really tell what that is without looking kind of carefully at it. And so if you're scrolling through YouTube, it's just noise. It's easy to miss. So I would be looking at like these are nice and clear because you have a nice bright background with a dark graphics card on it and it's standing out. But in these cases, like I'd be very careful about the pictures you're taking so things are contrasting properly.
And then titles, Dan.
I want to talk about titles for sure.
What we have here, well, I don't want to steal your thunder then.
No, you're fine. I'm just excited.
So what I was going to say is what it looks like here is keyword specific and very keyword specific, which essentially is some form of update, emotional response to that update.
Yeah.
So like AMD 23.7.2 drivers, we just got buffed.
Yeah.
NVIDIA, which apparently is going to become the most richest company in the world through AI, 536.67 drivers. This is a good one. You know, I think that's a very intelligent strategy approach to telling a target audience, we're looking at this update today, and this is how I feel about it. And that's the tease.
So I am completely in agreement with you. I think there's a lot of search opportunity and a lot of just like emotional, like, oh, I wasn't even going to look for this, but it's supposedly a really good update. Maybe I should take a look. Videos aren't super long, so probably enough time to explain what's going on. I wanted to say, and maybe this creator's tried this. I'm kind of looking at a pretty quick glance here. I don't see it tried, but I would love to see what would happen if you flipped the title. This is a good one. NVIDIA blah, blah, blah driver. We just got buffed. AMD blah, blah, blah driver. Because recommendations are, I think, more important than search. Because in the short term, people see that. They're going to click on it. YouTube's going to get a lot of data from the initial group. And the search is the search. The search already is there. So if someone specifically types in AMD 23.7.2 drivers, your video still shows up even if it's in the second half of the title, right? And then the first thing they see in search is we just got buffed. So your opinion's already shining through for the people who want, you know, that review of that driver or the graphics card or whatever it might be. So as a test, I don't know if this will be game changing, but I would love to see them try and flip the title to see what would happen.
Can we watch the first 10 seconds of one of these, Dan, just to see what I'm thinking of the expectation here.
So I know you can't hear it, but they're not introducing themselves. They're just going, yes, cool. You should upgrade to this, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, we're 5 seconds in. Okay, now we finally see the graphics card. So I'd say there's still plenty of opportunities to upgrade their production skills right now. And the reason I'm saying this is because it's essentially a gaming / tech channel.
Yeah.
And that comes with it a certain expectation. Let's be honest, RBG lights just all over the place, as far as the eye can see. So that might be something to maybe think about, just trying to create a little studio in a corner of your room if you can do it. And then, Dan, what was the audio like? Good quality?
Not great.
Okay.
It sounds like they are using the onboard camera microphone. It could be on their phone itself,
right?
But it's close enough to where we can get this shot of them, but far enough away to where it sounds like you are in a hollow box.
Yep.
And so the next upgrade this creator would need is a microphone, or if they have a nice microphone, they need to do some tutorials and like figure out a way to tune it better.
If they're spending $200 on graphics cards, they should be able to afford a microphone which would significantly increase the production quality, as you've heard it done.
Yeah. It's very, you can hear it for sure. There's no background noise or anything like that. So I would say this is like for someone who's only been a few months into their journey, totally fine, but definitely like quality wise, huge room for improvement there.
All right.
So yeah, credit where credit is due there. Overall, really, really strong channel. And we've given you some suggestions on titles, on thumbnails. We've talked about the quality of the videos themselves, a lot to work with. You're also doing live streams, which is very interesting as well. So good to see.
We have to pause right there to enter the self-indulgent world of Mr. Rob Wilson. And that is Gaming Corner. What are you playing right now? Let us know in the comments. And as always, we have a weekly gaming sound effect from my gaming heritage and history. I don't know, Dan, if this is one of the easiest or hardest sound effects I've done so far. And it sounds like this.
How is that the hardest sound effect?
Town. Right?
I thought this was hard.
Where does that come from? Dan thinks it's really easy. Well, I don't know. I'll see what comes from the answers in the chats while I click on some games that people are playing. And Dan, you tell us what you're playing.
Yeah, I've seen I'm seeing a lot of games that I'm playing. City Skylines, I picked that up recently again because the second one's coming out. So someone said that. Path of Exile, I'm really looking forward to the second one. Old Man Gibbs playing Path of Exile. I saw someone say Palia, also a fun game. So about a lot of people just say Mario. I don't know if there's one single game that Nintendo made just called Mario. I don't think that exists. It's always Mario with a bunch of words around it, like Super Mario Bros. Or is there?
They're
a
all
Mario?
wrong. They're all wrong.
Oh, they're saying the thing. I forgot.
Yeah, and they're all wrong.
Yes, they are wrong.
Harder than I thought. Good work.
So yeah, I'm just playing a bunch of things here and there, but you know, a lot of I am like in sync with the chat today in terms of what we're playing.
So the game I am still playing is Sackboy. I have completed the main story, and now I'm just trying to collect all the orbs, all of the presents. And surprisingly, you know, even though it is kind of has this childish approach to it and design, to actually 100% it is very, very difficult, very challenging. And I'm just staying up with it, Dan. Like, I'm feeling as if I might not complete it. I might not 100% it. And really annoyingly, to get to like the very last level, you need, I think, all of the orbs, but you have to complete some of the levels in co-op. So like, it forces you to either play with somebody online or somebody you can just grab off the street quickly to help complete those levels. And I don't know if I'm going to do that. So I will be playing a brand new game this time next week. I'm seeing lots of games being played, as always, like Kingdom Hearts 3. That's a throwback. I have no idea what Operation Tango is. That could be a war game or it could be a dancing game. You tell me in the chat. And what else have we got here? Biffa plays indie games.
I've seen Biffa.
Yeah, okay. And Kerbal Space Program, etc., etc. All right, so this sound effect, Dan, I did see at least 2 people get it right in a chat, but I haven't seen anybody get it right for a couple of minutes, and those people have gone, unfortunately. So where does that sound effect come from?
I believe that is the startup sound for the Game Boy.
Correct. The original Game Boy. Let me put that straight. I mean, it could have been for the ones afterwards as well.
I assumed it was original, but I thought the color also had that sound.
Probably. Fun story. I won a Game Boy in a packet of chips, crisps in the UK. Quavers. I remember actually it was my brother, and he took out the packet and said, because every packet had like a little slip in it, and usually it was just like a sticker, or like you may have won a 6-pack of chips. But he pulled it out and I said, "So what does it say?" And he said, "Congratulations, you won a Game Boy." I said, "Give it here." And I'd look at it, wow, we won a Game Boy. And then, of course, because it was his packet, he claimed that he'd won a Game Boy, but no, it was my it was my 6-pack. And then I painted my brother painted some Space Marine decals on it. And then it either got lost or stolen on a bus trip to go 10-pin bowling. So that is the story of my Game Boy.
If anyone has that Game Boy, go ahead and let us know.
It's probably worth millions now, but it used to be owned by Rob Wilson from vidIQ.
Yeah, or your friend, I guess.
Anyway, Dan, shall we go back to some channel audits?
Yeah, yes. So this was a pre-selected channel called Little Lego. So it is a Lego channel.
Just before we audit this channel properly, go back to the top. YouTube, I know you're messing about with links right now, but they look disgusting. Can you fix this, please?
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
There's
really
a very,
annoying.
very simple fix to this. When you're customizing your channel, you're allowed to type out what link it is. So you can just put Discord and then put your Discord link. For some reason, that's not what's showing up. YouTube is, I guess, maybe it's they want to be transparent about what you're about to click. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that looks clear, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what I'm going to get if I click this link. It's, I don't know. That's not great. So anyway, collectible sets / retired sets, how-to tutorials, tricks. Now, when I see this about section, I get immediately excited because I'm like, oh, do you have like old collectible Lego sets? Because that could be a whole channel. Like there's so many, they're rare, they're expensive. Like what a cool like way to do a Lego channel, you know? But it's not clear from the titles and thumbnails that that's what's going on all the time. So what they're doing is kind of interesting. Like they do these news parodies and they put like a thumbnail with like an actual news anchor and stuff, but it's supposedly about like Lego news. Oh, and the intro goes on for about like 10 seconds or so.
It's a minute long. This is that an AI person?
But it's like a traditional one. And when you think robot voice, this is the one you hear.
Yeah.
And so they have someone just kind of like doing a mock news thing. So it's not them on camera. And then they've just kind of, I guess, put the news in robot form.
It doesn't really fit the ambience of Lego collecting.
Yeah.
Like guy wearing suit, robot voice, news studio.
I think it's a funny concept.
Oh, it does say Lego news parody. Yeah, I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
I'm missing that.
It is a funny concept, but I think as like a, I think a Lego fan would look at that and go, well, this doesn't really tell me what's actually going on in the world of Lego. I don't really know what the video is about, even based on the title. So I would be looking at that and thinking to myself, well, this is a funny concept. Maybe it's not the right fit.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out the big positive here is just the channel is focused. Like they're
definitely.
They have their like thumbnail style down, and it's like, okay, here's like the classic Lego set, and I'm gonna make, I'm gonna brand these. All that's cool, but I'm glad to see also that they're starting to branch out a little bit more. Like they've made the sets a little bit bigger in recent thumbnails. Good to see. I think they've put themselves in one of the thumbnails, which is also good to see. So there is some evolution happening, which is good, because that's really what I want to talk about. When we think classic Lego sets, I think there's going to be some channels that stand out a little bit more. So let me just try and like pick one. Like maybe I'll just type in classic Lego City set. Vague. And already I'm greeted with thumbnails. I'm not reading the titles yet. I'm looking at these and I can already kind of tell what the videos are about. So we're talking about Lego characters from like the 80s and some else that has some intrigue to it. Still not reading the title. And then this is very clear. Lego City 1978 to 2020. So I'm going to see like the evolution of something. Let me read the title. Every Lego City set ever made. Okay. I
Nice.
bought old forgotten Lego. Interesting. I bought old forgotten Lego. Seems like the perfect video for this channel, considering retired sets and collectibles, things like that. Imagine that video, like, for a second, like, follow this person on this, excuse my clicking here, follow this person on this journey of going and like finding these sets. Maybe they're online at first and the camera's pointed at them, like, I'm trying to find these classic Lego sets, guys. I don't know if I can do it. And then they find it, and then it comes in the mail, and they open the box, and they're like, oh my gosh, look at this. You know, oh, it's in pretty decent shape considering how old it is. And so they're taking it out, and then there's like a montage where they build some stuff. Like, there's a whole story video in there. And I feel like when I think about a channel that's doing retired sets and stuff, that is the content I imagine. So something to consider. And I didn't even scroll down on that search and saw something very intriguing to me, something I would watch. And I would encourage this creator to do similar stuff. And maybe if that idea doesn't excite you, continue searching for the stuff that might, and do your version of it. Pay attention to those thumbnails, because I think you could do a much better job on these. Even still.
Yes. So Little Lego. Am I right in thinking that Lego is one of the more litigious companies in terms of channel names? I seem to remember that whenever I look at it, maybe litigious is a wrong word, but whenever I see any big Lego channels, they don't tend to have Lego in the channel name, and it's all like Brick Builder or Bricks Are Us, etc., etc. I'm not saying you need to change that now, but what you probably need to change is the big sell of Little Lego in the thumbnails, because it's just not necessary.
Right.
It's the first thing that my eye is drawn to because it's white on red, so it stands out far more than the product box. And that product box, because it's quite complicated, needs to fill the thumbnail as much as it can. So Dan, I think you said that the thumbnails are getting better, but there's still room for improvement.
Yes.
Like Lego City Update, the Astonishing Surprise modular review, you've basically repeated that text in the text in the thumbnail, and there's just too much to try and digest, especially when you have a silhouette Lego, because you're not giving me enough here, really, I think, in the thumbnail.
Yeah. There's the whole left side of all of these thumbnails you could get rid of, and then leave yourself room for, you know, the sets. Like I in particular, my eye is drawn to, when I try to ignore the red little Lego logo, I'm intrigued by this blue box here with the truck on it. So you could probably do a lot more with, you know, your thumbnails if you freed up that space, and that could be a more enhanced focal point. You know, that is for sure. So when I say they're getting better, it's like stuff like this that I can't really tell what's going on at all. Like the sets are too small. So the sets have seemed to increase in size. I want to challenge you to get rid of your logo in your thumbnails. And probably also the search term that is in your thumbnails. So in this case, Greengrocer 10185 review. That is not going to help you in search, because it's like just text on a thumbnail. So that's good for your description, your tags, things like that. But it doesn't really help anyone who's like looking for this on YouTube. You know what I mean? So a lot of different things. What I would do if I were you is do some research into other Lego channels that are covering like classic sets. And I want you to try to recreate a thumbnail that you like. You know, look at one and literally go into your thumbnail editing software, whatever you use, and try to remake it. Because what you'll find, this is how I learned how to get better at thumbnails. I saw stuff I liked and I tried to remake it. And I found that I had to look up a tutorial to do a specific thing in Photoshop. For me, it was Photoshop, but for you, it might be something different. And that is where I really, really unlocked my potential in Photoshop. Just trying to recreate things that somebody else made. And before I knew it, I was not only able to recreate it, I was able to recreate it in my own style. And it only took a couple of free tutorials on YouTube. So that's just for anybody out there thinking like, how do I get better at thumbnails? Literally take the skill you have now, try and copy something with it, get frustrated, and then look up a tutorial. I think it'll help a lot. So that's a little Lego.
Boom. Folks,
we did it.
If you're enjoying this live stream, do let us know through the power of emojis. And especially those who are vidIQ members. Oh, I've just posted in the chat all of our wonderful member-only emojis that you can take advantage of for just, thank you, Dan. Thank you, StreamYard, for selling this
Look at them all.
so effectively. But vidIQ Shock and vidIQ Bro, etc. It's just $1.99 a month for these perks and other secret perks that we'll just randomly throw at you. Thank you. So there we are. We're getting some more emojis from our members. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that we do have a cheeky little membership scheme, not associated to anything else with vidIQs. Like you don't get Boost or Pro or anything else. You just get to enjoy emojis that you can share in the chat.
So speaking of members and supers and everything, we're going to take just a minute to answer some super chat questions.
All right.
Welcome some new members. First here, we have a super chat question. Thank you. I believe I've learned a lot watching the shows, even though you haven't reviewed my channel. We love to hear that, actually. Yes. Hopefully one day we do get to see your channel. We appreciate that. It's always the creators who are here just taking notes quietly who are going to become super successful.
It is kind of a point, isn't it, Dan, in that, yes, you may learn a lot from us auditing your channel, but so much of what we say is copied from channel to channel and just said in a slightly different way. Each and every week.
That's the secret.
If you actually think about your channel, when we just talked about that Lego channel that was using its logo in the thumbnails and think, oh, I do some that as well in my thumbnails. Maybe I need to fix that. Yes, you probably do.
We have a new member, the Sam D. Thank you.
Welcome, Sandy.
Welcome. We have a super here from the Aussie 12. Thank you so much. Your weekly topic sent us a super. Thank you.
Nice.
Just as a reminder, supers will not get you a channel review, but we are happy to say thank you, answer your questions if you have them. My recent video blew up 1.5K views when my others get 100. Congrats. Yep. Do you have any tips to capitalize on that, especially considering my next video?
Yes. Double down on content, themes, opinions, updates, etc., that were in that video. How can you approach that from a new angle, if possible, if it's still a trending event? And usually it probably is, unless it's something that's, going to be around for 24, 48 hours.
Is that you or me?
That was me.
Yes, doubling down, super important. And I don't know if I have anything to add to that. We'll move on. Aussie 12 again, thank you so much.
Goodness.
Big Jack says, my audience and analytics show peak viewers at 11 a.m. YouTube takes 6 hours to push my shorts typically, so I post at 5 a.m. Is that the right move?
I think it's logical. I think it's certainly worth trying that. The one question I would ask to YouTube is, do those viewing patterns reflect shorts views as well? Because it's been an analytic that's been around for 1 or 2 years. So I don't know if that counts for shorts as well. But yeah, it makes sense to me to approach it from that point of view.
Yeah, I would say so. I also wouldn't worry too much about it. Yeah, like YouTube, sometimes they share our shorts like immediately. And that just kind of built over time. At first, we had to wait the 6 to 12 to 24 hours. And then eventually they just found an audience because I think people got used to seeing them. And so there's always an audience waiting to watch them. And then from there, they can blow up further. But it wouldn't really matter when we post that. YouTube's going to test it when it tests it. So I wouldn't worry too much about time to post in general, because usually, especially with shorts, there's just a point in which, this is my theory, Rob, the short shelf has so much real estate. And so it's busy testing other shorts. And yours is there. It's in the queue, but it hasn't quite hit. The real estate isn't there just yet.
Fair
point.
I mean?
That's what I think is happening. I don't know. YouTube has not said that. We have another super here from Spookful again. So this was the channel we were just talking to about doubling down. Is horror movies too broad? Should I pick one film?
So I think if you've had success with a particular horror movie that's 10x your usual view counts, then definitely I would look at that film again and another angle of it. A good example of somebody who is successful in the horror genre but covers all sorts of horror movies is CZ's World. And what they've become the master of is almost like the IMDb trivia of horror movies. So I don't know about you, Dan, but whenever I've finished watching a film and I've enjoyed it, when I get back home, the first thing I do is look at all of the trivia on IMDb just to find out what was going on. And that's what CZ's World has been doing for years at this point, like the things you missed from all of his different types of horror movies. So they can jump from horror movie to horror movie quite successfully. Yeah. But I think in your case, Spookful, given the fact that you've had this viral moment for your channel, definitely approach that same movie again and look at another angle of it.
So yeah, you could do that too. Like I was going to say though, there's a big difference between movies and games. Games, people will play for a really long time and they'll want to go through the entire thing. Movies, people generally just watch once and then they are looking for the next movie. So I think if you're a movie channel, picking a genre like horror is not too broad, but it is about how you cover it. And when you talk about this channel, Rob, it's not just that they're covering horror movies, it's that they're doing this like different timelines and trivias and things like that. So they're breaking the movie down in a very specific way. There's a through line here in that they cover the movies in a specific way. It's not just a broad look at the movie, right? You can get that anywhere. Like this channel is going to show you the history of the man who can't breathe. And it shows all the thumbnails that have these timelines really striking. And I can kind of already sense what the video is about, again, without reading the title. So that's just something to keep in mind. Sometimes you can be broad on YouTube. It's just about how you're approaching a topic. Not necessarily that, oh, I have to cover this one movie. My channel is just about, you know, the specific horror movie. I don't know horror movies very well, but
fun fact, CZ's World was the first channel I interviewed for vidIQ, and we've kind of grown as channels together. I think we've got very similar subscriber counts at this point, but I think he has a lot more views because some of those detailed looks at movies get millions and millions of views. Very successful channel.
Calvin the Unfindable has finally become a member.
Hey! Warning, Calvin the Unfindable has been spotted moving into the membership group.
Just that much more findable today.
Share your emojis with aplomb. Yeah, Dan, you know, if we get like increased our emojis more, like in the next set, one of them should be find Calvin. that should be it, the emoji.
We'll have to figure out what that would look like, but yes. Yeah. Meme God has become a member. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Meme Bob. Welcome. This is a meme song, right? I think that's appropriate
I think so. We've made it one. We question, where would you get advice on media kits? The media kit app isn't working for me, sadly, and I'm looking for advice reaching out to companies. So one creator you could look into is Justin Moore. Really focused on this exact thing, like helping creators reach out to companies and find sponsors and things like that. We've talked to him ourselves, you know, totally vouch for him. And that would be my advice, honestly. The media kit on YouTube, a lot of us have just unlocked it. It is very interesting. And I would love to know from someone like that, is this a tool that I should be using? Is it going? Do companies look at this and go, oh, thank goodness, this is so helpful? Or should I be preparing my own custom media kit? So that is one creator you could look at who does talk about stuff like that.
Comments are gold for media kits. If you can get comments that talk about things you've promoted or suggested the viewer should do by solve a problem, you can gather up those comments, you know, that's telling the potential sponsor, I can find a very specific audience and I can influence them to take action. We have, as you should have all done by ticking the notification bell earlier on when I asked you to.
Yeah, what the heck?
We're going to find out after this live stream if you have done.
Is using the phrase explained in just 5 minutes in the title effective? Do you have any recommendations to make that title more attractive?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Explained in just 5 minutes is a bit wordy.
Yeah, I'd say in 5 minutes, or like brackets 5 minutes, or you could even put 5 minutes in the thumbnail with like a ticking clock or something. There's several ways to do it, but as you say, Dan, explained feels as if you're almost like YouTube explaining something. You don't have to go into that much detail. Yeah.
Yeah, I would give the audience a bit of credit. Like so explained in just is a bit long. You know, you could say just 5 minutes, you know, but we get like that you're explaining something inherently given the video's probably the rest of the title and thumbnail and stuff.
I'm gonna do something risky here, Dan, but can you just do a quick search on YouTube for, if you bring up the screen, how to make a YouTube short? I think this is top of the search rankings now because it's getting a lot of views from search. Come on. Yes. Oh, I'm so relieved. So in this one, how to make a YouTube short, complete beginner guide. That's what I decided for the title. And we just have it big, like in your face in the thumbnail. And the reason why I've done this is because I knew this was going to be a search driven piece of content. And so the big sell here is that we're going to show you how to do this in a very short amount of time. That's the important thing. I don't want to look at an hour-long video essay on how to make YouTube shorts. Just give me all the information quick. And that's how I pitched the video.
Yes. We'll look at one more super chat and we will move on to the next channel. We'll come back to supers in a little bit.
And just to mention, Design Burst is now on a streak of 12, I think. I'm like loosely counting the super chat streak, but I think we're on 12 now.
Thank you, Design Burst. Appreciate that. Old Man Gib, also a regular here. Thank you. A friend of mine is considering starting a channel directed at helping veterans with navigating the Veterans Administration nightmare. Any wisdom would be helpful. Thanks a million.
Yeah, so first of all, fantastic idea. It's one of those slightly niche topics, but there are, as I understand it, Dan, hundreds of thousands of veterans in the US. So there is a potential huge audience there. Mm-hmm. And I think the key here is for this person who presumably has an incredible amount of knowledge about negotiating Veterans Administration. What are the biggest questions that are asked and how well and efficiently and personable can this person answer those questions and really sell that in the content? There's likely already channels out there on YouTube for this. I wouldn't be surprised. So there may be some competition, but it seems like a really good idea just as a thought that's in somebody's head and have not actually pressed record yet.
I would say simplicity is your friend. So what is the problem that the video addresses? Try not to get too technical. A lot of, if we're thinking administration, I'm thinking really complex forms with little number codes and stuff on them. Try to avoid that. What is the specific problem? If you are frustrated, you're a veteran, you're going through something, what are you typing into search? What is the thing that, like, I need an answer to this right now? Make sure your video touches on that problem.
Exactly. We all know the target audience here. Everybody watching this live stream knows the target audience, which is fantastic. So what are their biggest desires and goals, and what are the biggest problems facing them, and what happens to them if they don't reach those goals? And that's how you structure each and every video.
All right, we have more super chats, but we will get to those in a bit. Thank you so much, everybody. Again, we are not reviewing channels based on super chats. So if you have a question or just want to say hello, feel free. And then we will get back to our next channel that we pre-selected, which is Comic Escape. 4,300 something subscribers.
Yeah. So this is another Rob Wilson delving into the world of AI and how it works on YouTube. So we don't have the benefit of audio here, but before we started the live stream, I asked Dan to play one of these videos, and Dan's immediate facial expression was this. And I knew exactly what he meant, because as he was listening to it, he's thinking, is that an AI voice? I wasn't sure. But then I said to Dan, yeah, if you listen to a few more of these videos, that is an AI voice. But it's a really good one, okay? So if you are going to choose the AI voiceover route, then there are really good ones out there. Now, as far as I understand it, this channel is covering the comic lore of the Marvel universe and probably the DC universe. And they're not just doing shorts, although there are shorts here. And these are just the latest videos. So the view counts are really good. They're breaking beyond that, what we consider the YouTube testing phase of shorts, which is about 1,000 to 2,000 views. These are getting 5,000, 24,000, 7,000. All of this looks good. They are taking all of this from comics, and it is not original work. It is a AI voiceover from comic book graphics. So I think it's transformational enough as far as I'm concerned, but they are brushing up close to that reuse and repetitious content question, potentially. Now, if you go to videos, Dan, here is where there is a little bit of a problem. All right, they're not creating too many long form videos. They may do in the future. They did one 7 days ago. 1,000 views, that's pretty strong. Relatively short video, it's like just longer than a short. So what it looks like they're experimenting with is, can I get some of these shorts viewers to watch my long form content, but I'm still going to leave it relatively short, like just a minute long, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. The problem is this video with 281,000 views. And you think, oh, this is fantastic, amazing, super fantastic. But if you click on it, it is somebody recording this part of Spider-Man in a cinema.
Yeah, you can hear people in the background like giggling and stuff.
Yeah, it's they're recording the screener, right? So this is why it's probably gone viral for this channel, getting 300,000 views, especially when the film was just released and they're thinking, oh, I can watch a bit of Spider-Man on YouTube, which is fantastic. However, it doesn't truly reflect what your channel is now. And all of these people who've come onto your channel, the 300,000 people, and maybe subscribed through this video, are now not getting what they want, because they probably want more film Spider-Man lore, as opposed to this deep delve into the comic book world of Marvel and DC. So maybe this is your ticket to 4,000 hours of watch time, but even if you reached monetization, YouTube may take a look at that one video and go, is this a channel worth monetizing because they've just got footage of the film at a cinema? I'm not so sure. So there may be a tough decision to make here, Dan, but in order to keep their channel aligned with who their target audience is today, should they maybe unlist, private, maybe even delete this video, which is almost certainly against policies, copyright, etc. of YouTube, whereas everything else is probably, it's like this one video that's got 300,000 views is on the wrong side of a fence.
Yeah.
Whereas everything else is probably just on the right side of a fence in terms of, you know, using someone else's intellectual property and making transformational content. I said a lot there, but wow, I thought it was interesting.
I want to encourage anybody who's done something like this. You've posted a video, and in retrospect, it's like, it was for the wrong audience. It has a bunch of views. What do I do? I've done the same thing. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I posted what I thought was similar content to my audience on that channel, only to find out later through looking at analytics that it was appealing to a totally different audience. And I realized why I was having so much trouble in other areas of my channel, because I would post something and people, like on my community tab, for example, people were like, I don't even know you. But they watched my shorts, obviously. Like they found me through the shorts. The community tab posts weren't resonating. The long form videos weren't resonating. It was just a mismatch. And so what I did is I removed the shorts. And we're talking about, I had shorts with over 1 million views. I removed them anyway, and it was hard. It sucked. But then I was able to take the channel and focus it more on the original audience, and it turned around and things got better. So not only did my analytics look better, but it was kind of like an internal thing. Like my confidence was better because like I had tried something, it failed, and then it succeeded and failed, I guess. And then I was able to like focus again. And so it helped. I would hate to remove a video with this many views if it was on my channel, but it could help. It could help focus you again. And of course, the audience that's starting to follow you will start to understand really what you're about. But this to me seems like, oh, I can come to this channel and sometimes they're going to like sneak into movies and film the screen a little bit. And that's not what you're about. So I would be considering, Rob, hiding this video.
All right, then.
So
we're in agreement.
Those are just about all our pre-select channels. Yeah. Right. What do you mean rare occasion? We have one more channel before we get into random selections. And that is the person who entered our thumbnail challenge on Twitter this week.
Nice.
And we do have our winner's thumbnail here. And they are Zain Mcboss. They have 800 subscribers. And they are a gaming channel playing Dead by Daylight and The Last of Us. I would say those games are probably pretty similar. we would recommend, obviously, playing similar games to the same audience. They reacted to the Spider-Man 2 trailer, though, so a bit different there. But yes, gaming channel, they're putting their face in the thumbnails. They, with different thinking reactions. Sometimes they're pointing at stuff. But as I scroll down, that is like the first thing I notice is the different games. I will say, though, thumbnail-wise, in terms of composition, I like these, especially for a game as dark as The Last of Us. They're doing a good job with the lighting and stuff, and we can like still see what's going on. Sometimes you see people who play games that are really dark, and they just kind of can't get the thumbnails right. But like, look at the latest one, like that character is really popping off the background, and they do a pretty good job of just keeping their thumbnails nice and simple, which is good. But for me, if I were to go back to just my gut instinct for advice for this channel, I don't really know what I'm going to get video to video. We're seeing like some advice about Dead to Daylight. We're seeing reactions to different trailers. We're seeing like Super Mario Wonder, like a reaction to Super Mario Wonder from the Nintendo Direct. But that's like so colorful and vibrant compared to The Last of Us and Assassin's Creed and even Spider-Man. So I still feel like this creator is probably trying to figure out like where exactly they want to go with their channel. That's my reaction to this.
Dua Lipa dance reaction.
What?
That's completely left field.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, this is interesting. This is nothing to do with gaming. I imagine your regular audience was confused by that.
Can you just scroll to the top, Dan? I want to see something. I want to check completely to the top. So they've published 969 videos. But as you scroll down, I think you scrolled down through every single long form piece of content, right?
Oh, I had not.
Oh.
Now I have. So
okay,
2 years ago, and then I'm sure there must be shorts.
Yeah. So it was like a sizable number of videos. And they're doing the thing that you like, Dan, which is creator on at the top, playing the game underneath, hopefully getting some good reactions from it. Mm-hmm. Some interesting view counts here. Super consistent there. Like, oh, right. Okay. So let's go to the latest.
So their best video has 23,000. The latest ones have not. Some of these might be very recent, but they've not quite gotten that level of views.
It's very spiky. Some of these, like, again, it puzzles me completely how YouTube can only offer 1 view or 3 views for a short, because that to me is in those examples, they're impressions to me, not views. And one person has been given a chance to watch that shot, which I find really puzzling. I think this creator may need to make a decision, as you say, Dan, about what they want to focus in on super aggressively, because they're up to 1,000 videos at this point, and they are getting some success on shorts, but their long form content seems to be milling around the dozens of views per video. And it does have a little bit of a whiff of Let's Play content, which we've spoken about ad nauseum in the past, and how it can be really difficult for creators to see any traction on these. Yeah. Given that they're trying to put in some sort of emotional response and trigger with like, I can't believe that happened, and Ellie, and what is that? But then they kind of stuff it with loads of keywords for that searchable element. But when was The Last of Us Remastered released on PS5? Was it fairly recent? I can't remember.
Even if it's recent, it's just that The Last of Us is such an old game now.
They've done so many remasters and re-releases now that I can't remember how recent the latest one is.
Yeah.
And, it goes back to the fact of it's a relatively small audience playing a game that's at this point months old and being covered by other creators. And as you say, the thumbnail and the title aren't suggesting anything new and fresh. I feel as if YouTube's going to have a hard time finding a audience that's going to be interested in this, on April the 22nd, 2023, unless it's something radical new, which has never been done before.
My guess, after seeing the shorts, is that this creator is a Twitch streamer. that is trying to, I say trying, that is taking their content from Twitch, then their Twitch streams, and taking clips of it and putting it on YouTube, which is a valid strategy. Like a lot of streamers do this. It could be the opposite. Maybe you make content primarily on YouTube and you stream on Twitch every so often. I don't know, but I'm seeing the little Twitch logo and stuff in the background. The way you do your shorts, very reminiscent of those channels that play games, react to them, put shorts on YouTube. All that's really good to do. I would say though, like, there are streamers who do all sorts of different things, and I would love to know who your biggest inspirations are. Whoever they are, go and look at their YouTube channels and try to find what is consistent about them, because this is something I've noticed with a lot of gaming channels. They get really like wrapped up in this idea that my favorite creators are playing whatever they want. You know, that is your perception of it. They are playing whatever they want. I'm going to play whatever I want. You know, I don't care what other people say, what other the best practices are. I'm going to do me, and I'm just going to do as good as I can do, and hopefully I blow up. Because their perception is that's how these creators made it. But there's so many things going on in the background of one of those big channels that it's impossible to just look at one and go, I can just do that. Like, a lot of them have been around for a decade now. So they have like a huge back catalog and tons of experience that they're falling back on. A lot of them did start small and then grew gradually in terms of not only their size, but the topics that they can cover, you know. And then a lot of them, people who react to things, for example, on Twitch and stuff like that, they tend to react to things that their audience would consistently care about. Maybe it's big news events, maybe it's movies, maybe it's, you know, there's always a through line. There's always something consistent about creators that makes it harder to like discern like what it is they're doing just by a quick glance. But if you look carefully, you can always start to pick out these patterns. One of my favorite streamers who posts to YouTube is Doug. And if you take one look at one of his channels, he's got a bunch. He's never doing the same thing twice. Never the same game. Like never the same. If he's playing the same game, it's never the same way. The thing is, the through line with this content is the involvement with his audience. He's a programmer by trade, and so he can take his programming and put it into Twitch, and his chat can participate in the game. And then he's really creative. He doesn't just play the games. The games are played by Twitch chat, and the games are completely manipulated in ways a normal player wouldn't manipulate them. So you kind of watch this channel and you can see, like, you know, they can play kids games and all kinds of stuff, but you don't care. Like, I don't care what game is being played. I know that they're going to make a really, really interesting piece of content with whatever it is they're doing. A lot of times the gaming takes place in Photoshop. Like a bunch of sets have been made in Photoshop, and he's just moving pieces around a board in Photoshop. So you would look at this creator and go, I'm just going to do that. But again, it's the through line of like, well, what is he doing video after video? It's always involvement with the audience in his case. Like, that's like one of the through lines. And there's a lot going on. I could probably do a whole video breaking down that one channel, but hopefully you get the sense of what I'm saying. You can play a lot of different things. It's just, how are you doing it? You know, what are you bringing to the table that is going to be consistent for that same audience over and over again?
All right, Dan, just before we move on, hopefully now we've got you all to subscribe and tap the notification bell for those random, surprising, when are they going to appear extra live streams. We now have something for you that is absolutely free. Let's say that again for effect. Free. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah,
yours is better. I still need that preset. And how you go about this is by simply going to the vidIQ website, so vidiq.com. Dan, I believe you already have this loaded up on your screen. And at the very top here, you see the menus. And one of those menus is AI tools. So if you mouse over that, you can see all of our AI offerings. And you're thinking, yeah, title generator, that looks cool, description generator, but sure, I'm going to have to pay for that. Well, not today. Dan, let's pick one of these. Any one.
I'm on channel name right now.
All right. Okay. So let's come up with a channel name for YouTube education.
Okay. So YouTube education channel.
That's it. That's our channel. Let's generate a channel name for it.
I should just say vidIQ.
All
so
right,
we get a bunch of names.
Knowledge
here.
Boost, Curiosity College, Brainwave Academy, Study Buddy. No, we don't want that. Intelligent Insights.
I think Creative Classroom's pretty good.
if we just added like the YouTube YT Creative Classroom, that could work, couldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, done. Let's move on to the next thing.
We've named our channel.
Let's do a YouTube title. Let's say 1,000 subscribers. Just type that in. Let's generate a title.
Here we go. From zero to
1,000. My journey. Love that one. How I got 1,000 subscribers in just 1 month. The ultimate guide to getting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Awesome. Love that. Let's make a script.
All right, fine. Script generator.
So,
how to get 1,000 subscribers.
How to get 1,000 subscribers. Yeah.
YouTube in 1 month.
All right. Generate. This is going to take, what, 15 seconds?
Give or take.
If that.
We need like hold music. Oh, here we go.
Cool. All right.
Everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my tips on getting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in just 1 month. So if you're ready to grow your channel, reach that milestone, then keep watching.
Now, the key thing here is we're not even logged into vidIQ.
No.
You see at the top, it says free sign up. This is free to everybody right now to start using. Free title generator, free script generator, and what are the other tools again, Dan? Remind me if we just mouse over. Content generator, video ideas, etc., etc. Give it a whirl. On us, on the house. You're welcome.
There you go. All right. We're about to dive in to random selections. If you're filling out one of the forms down below, please pick the right one. Your channel could be next. Hello.
Wow.
Where did Viper come from?
I snuck a Viper in there.
What's up, Viper?
What's happening? Wow, I was not expecting that. What's going on, Dan? Hi, Rob.
When they leave me in control, you just never know what's going to happen.
We in here.
Thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm good. How are you all?
Awesome.
Good.
All the more awesome for you being here, Viper.
It's been too long, so I had to come back.
Just be careful here, mate. RKO one of your channels from out of nowhere.
So we have the Claw Picker. This is going to pick your channels. We have 2 forms, a non-gaming form and a gaming form. Again, please submit on the correct form. And what we can do is see that there's 456 responses on the gaming form. We have 573 on the non-gaming form. So hey, let's type in 573 and let's pick out number 314.
Shall we warm up Viper's vocal cords here and let him charge into the breach on this one?
Yeah.
Imagine Viper at Helm's Deep and like you're ready to charge into those orcs and you're going to fight for your life and you're fighting for this channel's future. Take it away.
Inky Bowl, from chaos to productivity. Oh, can I just say these buttons are gone now?
Doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. You might want to do something about the banner. All right. So from chaos to productivity, I'm trying to figure out what I'm getting here. Let's see how to help the culture to your advantage, how to actually start journaling, motivation. So it seems like a life improvement channel if I'm getting it correctly.
Yep.
The first thing I noticed is that the thumbnails don't really move me for what the subject matter is. These look like basic generic thumbnails to me. And what I mean by that is if your aim as a creator is to improve my life as a viewer, then what does that look like for me? Like, I'm not getting that from the thumbnails. Like, what does an improved life look like? From what I'm looking at from these thumbnails, they just look like basic generic YouTube thumbnails. I don't see any possibility for me as a viewer just by looking at the thumbnail. So I think I'm just missing that possibility there. I'm not getting that from these thumbnails, but I appreciate what you're trying to do with the channel as a whole. I think some better thumbnails and better, I don't know, just think like you might want to figure out how to better relay your messaging. I think that's what I'm missing here for the most part. What do you guys think?
I have 2 observations. One of them not that big, one of them huge. First of all, the channel banner ain't going to work on mobile, I think. Or is it? Is it really intelligently done? Is it Chaos 2 and then will the face be there? I know productivity won't be there, but would it be Chaos 2 this face? Anyway,
it could be.
I feel as if that needs fixing. Now, there are some hints as to what this channel's superpower is, but it's only teased in a couple of videos, and that is sobriety. If you look at one video here, 3,500 views, and that is very clear, the messaging on that thumbnail. 1 year sober from alcohol and drugs, worth it. And then the power of sobriety, productivity and self-improvement vlog, 1,000 views. Yep. All of the others, if I'm right, I can't see that big emotional trigger being included in a thumbnail. So I think if this is the creator's journey and it's very important to them, and that is their target audience, to help those people who've had addictions in the past, that there is a future in sobriety beyond those challenges, that is your big, unique selling point, and you should really niche down into that, because that's where your superpower and audience is.
Yes, I would say that I'm following you on a journey in these two videos about, going from alcohol and drugs to sobriety. The rest of these do feel like they're in the same realm of self-improvement, but self-improvement is so broad, and you can see that this channel's a microcosm for that, right? Like how to use hustle culture to your advantage. Nothing to do with, this story here. It's a completely different type of self-improvement. So I would recommend if you have a lot of stories, if you have a lot of encouragement for people who are trying to get sober, you can have a whole channel about that. And it seems like there's already a lot of positive signs here. And I would say these two thumbnails, in my opinion, happen to be the best thumbnails on this channel. Like I immediately noticed this trash bag one, like the old you, like that speaks volumes. And I don't even need that thumbnail could be used on a lot of different videos, but when I pair it with the title, I'm like, gotcha. And then the alcoholic beverage and the water, like I already know where this video is going just by looking at the thumbnail. So I feel like you're probably speaking to this on like a level of maybe some experience. Like you were coming from a place like how to talk to that audience, and it's showing in that content. But when you talk about this other random, like how to finally beat discomfort, but discomfort in what? Like job interviews, like discomfort in the going to the DMV and going out in public. Like what kind of discomfort are we talking about? Like those kind of vague self-improvement videos are a struggle, because I'm sure there's some good advice in there, but people they need to be like a little more spoon-fed in that way. Like, oh, I experience discomfort when I do X, so it's not hitting on like a specific problem, but these videos are hitting on something specific.
You saw my most popular, Dan? Yeah, like how it is a sobriety channel at the moment as advertised, but I think you can plug in this self-improvement, productivity. I think you can plug that into this through line. It's just whether or not you want it, you're comfortable doing that. And you've hinted that you are willing to step into that perhaps uncomfortable place in those videos, and that's what the audience I think is really craving from this content.
Mm-hmm. So that is, I think that's our take there.
Okay,
and
we need to fix the problem. We have a problem. We need to fix it right the hell now. We picked the wrong number. We picked 314, not 340.
I did see that now.
Okay.
I have a solution to that problem.
Okay.
But you're not going to like it. We'll get there, but let's do some super chats first. And then I will tell you the solution to that
brutal.
My goodness.
Did I
Dan's
do it on
purpose?
Script? Oh no!
I'm glad I'm not hosting this one. The fallout from this is going to be enormous.
I'm like, I don't want no part of this show.
Yeah,
it's a shame that the channel we did look at is invalid because I typed the wrong number. All of that advice, you could throw it away right now. All right, so 4K watch hours done, 1K subs to go. Zenki, if I'm saying your name right, congrats, and thank you for becoming a member as well. Mental Health Mondays is a new member. Thank you, Rob. What's going on?
This is me on this live stream right now.
Oh, that's
come on! Don't let me down here. For crying out loud! That joke's fallen on its bottom, hasn't it? Right, let's try that again.
Like sound effects, and you're playing with toys.
Come on!
Grey Ghost Gamers, would you unlist videos that...
This is me in this live stream, right? I'm disavowing all responsibility of what Dan's doing. Right. Where are we? Sorry.
So many different numbers now. Would you unlist videos that don't hit the viewer threshold? Less than 50. Your views are gold.
No, keep them up there because they might catch on later on down the road.
There's no viewer threshold.
Yeah, exactly.
that is something that I can see in your head having, because you're used to a certain amount of views, but something isn't taking off. You could unlist it, but I would try and learn from it. Like, why did that video not get as many views? Really look at it compared to your best videos and go, what happened? What's different? And if you step away from it for a little bit, come back to it, maybe you're with a fresh head, in a fresh headspace, you might find that like, my regular audience didn't watch because of X. There's something I did differently that obviously didn't resonate with them. But you're not guaranteed anything on YouTube. You're not guaranteed one view, even if you've gotten one in the past. Mental Health Mondays, I believe. Did I already say thank you for becoming a member?
Yeah, thank you.
Don't think so. Well, they got sound effect this time.
There we go. Let's see. I've learned more in the last month by your audits and using vidIQ tools than years of uploading.
Right answer.
That's why we're here. That's what we do.
Thank you so much. Strange. I have 2 videos that hit 60,000 and 28,000 and haven't been able to duplicate that magic since. What gives?
So without seeing the subsequent videos, we don't know if you, as we recommended before, double down on different angles and opinions and thoughts on that content. It could be that you just had viral moments, and viral moments are hard to replicate. Let me ask this: how many views were you getting before these big view videos, and how many views are you getting now? So let's say you were getting 100 views per video before. Now you're getting 250 views per video afterwards. That's still a significant increase in your audience and average view counts, but the balance of the views it doesn't feel like you've made sufficient progress. But a difficult one to answer without auditing the channel, and that's not what we do with Super Chats.
We have another difficult one as well. Rude Pie Guy says, what am I doing wrong? We can't look at your channel based on Super Chats, but hopefully this stream has been helpful to you.
Indeed.
Yes.
We can say that.
Yes.
Kevin Quayle Show. Past the 400 sub, I guess, count on YouTube. Still learning from you.
Just 100 to go.
Thank you. Track Out Gold. Super thank you. Millerus. Robert, Mr. Clean.
Hang on. We're going to do this. Let's do this properly.
I don't know if he wore headphones.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's the answer though.
How to train your Gavin.
Here we go, Dan. Here we go.
Oh,
Strap yourselves in.
Oh gosh. Okay. I don't think my blood pressure can handle this question. I did a YouTube promotion campaign and it boosted my video, but retention was awful.
Ooh.
Was it? Was it now? Sorry. Is the video ruined for future algorithm? I wouldn't say it's ruined. Well, Spiffing Brit tested some stuff like this, and the video did get like more views, bad retention, but eventually corrected itself. So I don't think you ruined your video. It's just the YouTube promotion tool is something I would be careful of using because it claims you can get subs and views, but this is what we're finding. It's like, yeah, that'll happen, but you're just paying money to put your video in front of people who didn't necessarily ask for it. So they're not really invested in your channel. Really, the top way to grow on YouTube is through organic growth.
Organic growth.
Organic growth. Excuse me. Organic. Organic growth.
I should be the last person for pulling people out, like calling people out for mispronunciations on live stream. But that, I love that word, Dan. I want to use it.
Organic is.
Organic.
Sounds like a superhero.
Oh,
that's my take on it. Anyone else?
I was just more interested when you said blood pressure. I've just got a new watch and I can now measure my blood pressure on it. Ooh. So shall I do that live on air? like it says, I can measure. Oh. This is not good for live stream.
Oh, you got a Samsung. Nice.
Yeah. Well, no, I've got a new one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to measure my blood pressure right now.
All right. While we're doing that, I have a question for you, Rob. I haven't been here in a while.
Well, hang on. I'm measuring my blood pressure here.
I haven't been here in a while. So what's going on with the glasses, Rob? Is this like a new thing? What's going on here?
So I've been following a book called Primal Branding. And this is how you make unique things about yourself. Like you wear shades inside.
Yes.
Nobody ever sees your eyes. You are called Viper with 3 Ys. That is Primal Branding. So I thought what I would do is I'd get one of the thousands of vidIQ shades that I've got from conferences, which we didn't give away, and put prescription glasses lenses in them. So these are actual genuine vidIQ glasses where I've taken out the shades and put in prescription glasses.
Ooh.
And all of my older glasses are the wrong prescription now. So these are actually the most useful ones I can use for work. I thought, to be honest, it'll look a little bit silly because they make my head look massive. But we did a poll and like it was a 3-to-1 ratio that I should wear these on a regular basis. So that's the story of my glasses.
Giving the people what they want.
Yeah.
We have one here outside the unbox. Guys, would love to hear your inputs on my new videos. Unfortunately, we cannot look at channels based on super chats. Maybe your channel will pop up in the random selections, though. And stay tuned.
They're awesome.
Yes.
Y'all do realize we have a form for that, right? There's a form down there for y'all to do that.
Don't fill it out yet. You don't never know what's going to happen with that thing. What do I have to do to get my channel roasted by my greatest teacher? Roasted?
Well,
fill out the form, but not yet.
For $10, well, wait until the final. I guess if a certain person does arrive at the end of a live stream, we don't know if they will. We'll suggest it to him. Usually it's $39.95 for that.
Every 5 minutes.
But please don't send us $39.95 when we can't guarantee the super chat.
We're kidding. We cannot do that.
Good old Savage.
I only have 50 characters, but okay, thank you. Super
Really?
chats are pretty short. Yeah, you can't type too much in those.
Is that right?
I think it's the more you spend, the more characters you get, because there's one here that's pretty long.
Okay.
So yeah, but they were a member. They re-upped their membership. That's why they're typing that. Gotcha. Thank you for staying a member. Appreciate you. Gun Nut Opinions started with 2 shorts about 2 months ago, grown to 2,320 subs, breaking into long format very soon.
Very smart.
That's to you.
Very interesting for you. Then YouTube are releasing some tools that you will be of great interest to you, which we'll try and cover soon.
Aussie 12, we got a strike. Will we be eligible to monetize?
So according to YouTube, well, hang on. If it's a community strike, no. You must have 0 community strikes when you apply for monetization. If it's copyright strikes, YouTube say that it doesn't impact monetization. Whether that's entirely true or not, when they look at your channel and maybe you've got some claims as well, I don't know.
I don't think YouTube allows monetization. I don't think YouTube will let you monetize any strike regardless of the community or copyright.
On copyright strikes, they say it's unaffected. That's in the literature.
I imagine if you get 3 of them, it's probably different.
Yeah, now that is
if you have 3 of them, your channel magically disappears.
Yeah, forget about monetization.
It's over with.
You got
find a new hobby. Boomer Jokester says, started a joke channel as a throwaway for learning. 40 days in, enjoying it too much to quit.
Good.
Welcome to YouTube. Looking to add long form like reactions, man on the street, don't laugh, etc. Any advice? Man on the street content, just be careful because there's a right way and a wrong way to do that. And a lot of people don't like it when you do it the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's my advice. But what do you guys think? Like, is that too many things? Long form reactions, man on the street, don't laugh. Like
Dan said, you got to be careful with the man on the street stuff because if you do get people's reactions or whatever on the street, you have to make sure you get their consent to be in your video. Otherwise, you're gonna have a problem there. And also be aware of background music when you're in the street because I got caught up one time when I was doing some filming inside of a hotel lobby and they were playing elevator music and my live stream got copyright claim for that. So be careful where you film at.
I would still try to keep them relatively short, especially with comedy stuff. So, your shorts are doing well. So start with like 1 minute 30 videos, 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30. If you're going to want to make a longer video, then I think especially for comedy, it's going to need some storytelling elements, which brings a whole new craft and skill into it. So yeah, start researching storytelling as well. Because, jokes are essentially storytelling, but how do you lay that into a 5-6 minute video? That could be the challenge.
All right, we'll come back to supers in a bit.
All right.
I'm guessing you guys want to see your channels on the screen. Here's the problem. some rascal went over here and they hit this button that deleted all the responses on this forum. And then they went over here and they deleted all the responses on this forum. And now we have no channels to look at. We have no channels at all.
Brutal.
I know. That sucks. Well, thanks for watching. Or I guess you could post your channel and maybe we'll review it. Maybe it's for everybody who's here right now. Oh, there we go. Who's the first person that got in there? That's your Patreon. We can't audit your Patreon. Okay, who's the second person who got in there?
It's hilarious. The first person to submit sends the wrong link. And maybe they were just panicking. It's like, oh, control, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Oh no!
Oh,
Disaster. Anyway,
Rusted
we've got a channel,
Pioneering.
have we?
Yes. So, first time we're seeing this channel. We have no idea what it's about just yet because we are seeing it again for the first time. As I'm looking to
Prospecting
pause the
and
music.
gold panning, they say.
Ah.
In the about section, the thumbnails, though, don't seem to support that in the titles.
Not what I would imagine for a gold panning channel. Some of these. They look fun. I think they're having a lot of fun. But I'm not seeing a lot of like stuff indicating gold panning.
There is a little bit, but it's not really clear in the thumbnails immediately, which is kind of what we want, that instinctive connection to gold panning, which I think so. Dan, let's just do a quick YouTube search for the type of thumbnail we may expect from such a topic.
Ah.
Nuggets of gold.
Mm-hmm.
At a river with one of those little bowls.
2 hours. See, this is great. Like, this is really strong.
So one of these green, what do we call these pans?
Gold panning pan?
I'm sure there's a word for it, a phrase. Anyway, we're getting a good idea of the type of thumbnails we might expect. And then if we go back down to the hero channel. So there's one thumbnail there with a pan right up against the camera lens. It almost makes it hard to distinguish what it is.
Well,
it's
it's
almost like
interesting.
too zoomed in.
Yeah. Like it says out of retirement with an arrow pointing at something, but it was too hard to see what this was until I put my cursor on the video, which means I have to watch the video to see like what I'm going to get.
Yeah, that looked like a toilet to me.
A what? A toilet?
Toilet.
Well, I'm not going to ask. So execution wise on this particular thumbnail, we're saying not really reminiscent of like what we would expect, I guess, from a gold panning channel.
Now, when you actually identify the gold panning videos, the view counts are actually pretty good. So if you scroll back up, Dan, it looks as if it's every other video. So like the first one, 300 views, then one afterwards. Oh, it does say gold, but
they're checking the mail though. Like they're getting like fan mail or something, and so they're checking that out.
Hidden gold, silver treasures, 500 views. Then deep sea discoveries. That seems way off topic, and have kind of been punished by their audience because of that. Then back to gold, 450. Then skulls and blueberries. So like outdoors content again. The audience kind of punishes the channel. So we can see that the channel focus is a bit skewed. When they stick to their focus, they get more views from their, I assume, returning audience, but the thumbnails still could have better execution to sell the main concept of the content.
Yeah. I would also say like what I'm struggling with is the text. Like in the latest thumbnail, for example, that red text is so small, hard to read. Red text in general on thumbnails is pretty hard to read.
Didn't even see that.
But the colors, like that's not gold. Like every word being a different color makes it harder for my eyes to focus on like what you're trying to say. So I would recommend white text with a black stroke. Just that's like the easiest, like pops off really well. But yellow text also works really well. Like I can read power up pretty easily here. I also think that the thumbnails, when you do stuff like this, are overly complex. you know, you were trying to convey the emotion of like maybe how you felt when you found something, but it doesn't tell me as the viewer exactly what I'm going to get. It seems like your regular viewers kind of recognize what you're doing. They read the titles, but I feel like your content can go so much further. Gold painting is like an interesting hobby. So, you know, why not try and make it a little more clear for that broader audience what's going on? And I think what would help this channel is what we did. It was just search for gold painting and kind of look at some of those thumbnails.
Views versus sub count is strong.
Yes, that's
what
true.
What about shorts? A little all over the place.
So we got 2,000 here, the best Rusted Pioneering ever. So this looks like it could be a gold panning video, but like we got one about your dogs and stuff. And it's the shorts should also be consistent with what you're doing on your channel. And short to short should be like, if you're a gold panning channel, I should see gold panning shorts, because when I see them in my feed, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop scrolling because I recognize you. I am a fan of yours and I watch this gold panning content, but I'm not even going to recognize you if it's like a video about your dogs. You know what I mean? And I might like dogs too, but I still might swipe away because I didn't even get the clue that it was like this gold panning channel that I like to watch. Like, it's really important that your shorts and your longs and all of it is relevant to the same audience. If you want to do vlogs and lifestyle kind of content, you could do a second channel for that stuff, but it feels really out of place to have it in your shorts and your videos where it's like one for me, one for you, one for me, one for you. You're doing gold panning video, then something different. Gold panning video, then something different. Let's just try like a run where it's just gold panning videos. All right. That sound means I should go to the next channel.
Yes.
Oh. So
yes,
the gaming form now has 161 responses on it. So I'll update the form for the picker.
I'm going to try and
I'll badly type the number 95.
Audit this next channel through the power of sound effects only.
Oh no.
See how well. So you kind of got to ask me a question, either Viper or Dan, to help me. But I'm not auditing the channel by myself. By all means, you.
No, it sounds like you want to take the lead on it.
Okay, right.
What do you think of the thumbnails? All right. What about the titles? What do you feel like? What's the banner telling you?
I haven't gotten sound effects.
How about the about section?
Oh.
Okay. Well, thanks, Rob. Thanks for all those insights. All right. Looks like, yes, gaming channel. That is what we selected. Your latest videos seem to be your strongest performing videos. And look at the difference here. So it looks like they were doing like a concurrent series of just playing the Walking Dead Telltale, like the Telltale Games Walking Dead games. They did that 9 months ago. They did 4 episodes. You know, nothing special here. We've seen videos like this all over the place on gaming channels. But then you come back a month ago. Can you beat Fallout 4 without attacking anything? Oh, I've heard of Fallout 4, and you're going to play it, old game, but you're going to do it differently. That's cool. Can you beat Fallout 4 without pooping yourself, pooping your pants? Not as clear on what's going to happen that makes me poop my pants, but another challenge is the point there. I think this video is just going to do better because it's very clear what you're trying to do. This one is not as clear. You're just saying it's the hardest challenge, but you're not giving us anything. So in any case, this is where I would say your channel needs to go. And you don't even have to stick to Fallout if this is the kind of content you're going to do. If you can continue doing these challenges where you're going to play a very well-known game, but differently, you're going to challenge yourself in some way, you're going to put yourself through something, you're going to find some success on YouTube. And I do feel like these thumbnails for what you're doing could be better. They're a bit simple. They're just a bit straightforward. You know, I would keep playing with these a little bit more. Keep looking at other channels doing gaming challenges. Can you do a 100 days video? Those are very popular. And then you have that split screen, day 1, day 100. That could work for all kinds of stuff. You know, what are some things you can do? But I'm glad you got away from doing this. Just these 4 videos here.
Yes.
And then this one could have been good. How to cook a steak, cooking simulator, funny live stream highlights. Can you play Cooking Simulator again, but do it with a different twist? Like how to cook a steak, like without a knife or whatever. I don't know. But funny live stream highlights kind of blows it for me because I know this is going to be content you made somewhere else and it wasn't really made for me. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of highlights from a stream I wasn't present for. So there we go. Short but sweet. We'll look at the next channel, which is going to be 249 on the non-gaming form. I'll do 250. 85. Are you just done talking? I haven't heard Rob say anything. It's a crochet channel. Worst. It's been all day. It's just so bad. Okay, Rob. What are you thinking about the thumbnails?
Oh, no.
Wow.
I mean, how about
Oh, boy.
Rob is full of positivity today. How about the titles?
What is happening right now?
Viper, do you want to take the first stab at this channel? I don't think we're going to get very far with Rob.
Yeah, the thumbnail. Yeah, the thumbnails are kind of bland in my opinion. I think the part of the thumbnail that you have with the solid colors and the text that could be used differently. You could just use like the entire thumbnail to show the thing that you're trying to show. I think that'll be better off instead of adding all that text. As far as the titles go, the titles are okay for the most part. Always when it comes to titles, I always tell you guys about adding elements of either fear, curiosity, or desire, or a combination to your title, just because it makes them a little bit more intriguing to a potential viewer. Because what you all have to remember is that your title has to be constructed, or they should be constructed in such a way that somebody is itching to click on it. And when you bland generic titles or such and such review or you got one here, coronation, croquet, along and more, that doesn't do anything for me. Like that tells me nothing about the video or what that video does for you or how to make you feel as a creator. So when as a viewer, if I feel like the creator doesn't care, then it makes it extremely difficult for me as a viewer to care about your video. So you got to make me care, make me feel like you care, and then I'll care.
I think you can have vlogs without calling them vlogs. I think there can be videos where you're just kind of showing off your studio and your set and stuff. But it's whenever you like call it what it is, like, oh, it's a, studio vlog. There might be a lot of really interesting stuff there for your crochet audience, but because they feel like it's not going to be a regular video, they're not really maybe even giving it a chance. I don't know. I'm not saying you should deceive anybody. It's just, how could you have titled that video a little bit differently? Trying to challenge yourself not to use the word vlog. Like, what specific thing are you going to show that would be like the most impressive thing they're going to see? And like, if maybe you're going to show off a collection of something like your crochet needles, or I don't know anything about crochet, I apologize, but different like threads and things like that. Like, the biggest collection of X. Like, and then it's still a vlog. You're still kind of taking people through, but you kind of open with that. Like, I'm going to show you guys like this collection I've been building for a while. It's great. But first, let's do our morning routine. And like so you can kind of get into the content that way, make it a vlog, but also make sure you lead with that level of intrigue too. So if you don't want to just do another pattern video, I think you get away with that. It's just challenge yourself to title those a bit differently. And then the thumbnails, I completely agree. It does feel like very like straightforward, like just a couple of bits of text, like you're just using the same kind of template. It makes me want to like look up some of these like granny stitch pattern or something like that, and just see like these are also very simple thumbnails, but they've made the stitch like the star of the thumbnail. There's not like much text at all, or it kind of fits in nicely. I don't love this text here, but look how many views these have. Like, this is, people can see very, very clearly what it's about just by looking. This is like if you do crochet, you look at this and go, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do that stitch. And now it's like a battle of the prettiest pattern.
Also, for this creator, you see how old these videos are that Dan is showing on here?
Ooh,
that means you have opportunity. You got opportunity to come in there and fake, because there's not recent content out there. So keep doing what you're doing.
It could also mean competition too. I mean, they're not being recycled a whole lot. So can you innovate? Are there things you can do to like take this to the next level?
Yes. Are you all?
That
go ahead, Dan.
Elimee Designs. Emily, is it? I don't know not sure how to say this name. I shouldn't have even tried. All right.
So I saw a comment in the chat that said something to the extent of they didn't think that we were the right people to review these channels. I will readily admit to you all that I am definitely not qualified to review every single channel and every different niche on this platform. I will admit that 100. However, there are certain things that apply for all niches on this platform. And the main thing is giving the viewer a reason to click on your content. That will never change because you have to have a reason for somebody to click. So I could talk about that all day and night. Rob, Dan, we could talk about that all day and all night. What makes a viewer want to click on your content? I don't care what niche you're doing. I need, as the viewer, needs a reason to click on your video. You got to give that to me. Doesn't matter what your content is. So that is something that I think we all, even you guys in the chat, all of us, we are experts in what makes us click on something. So while I might not be a subject matter expert in croqueting, I can tell you whether or not I'm liable to click on that video just by how it makes me feel as a viewer. So, hey, that is what it is.
All right. Super chats. The NICU Doc says, just want to thank you for the coaches program. Jen, my coach, is truly the best and has helped me pivot, and now views and subs are going up. Thank you. We love to see that. We do have a one-on-one coaching program. Rob is putting his hand up to stop me. I guess his microphone broke. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, got an interesting question here. Noob versus pro Minecraft security build. And the reason I read out the whole name is because they say, do you suggest putting keywords in the channel name to rank higher, or could it make it harder for people to find your channel? Here's my take on this. I think some of the most successful channels that I've seen are people's whose names get in my head. I showed you earlier, Doug is one of my favorite gaming channels, and simple name to remember. Ryan Trahan, when you think of big YouTubers, their name comes to mind, not the name of a video they made. In fact, you could think of your favorite video from your favorite YouTuber. Do you remember the title of it, the exact title? Probably not. So I would say what you've done here is you've made your channel name very unmemorable, and it's hard to get a community around your content who are going to grow to love you as a person because they don't even know the name you want to be called. They know the title of a video, basically. So I don't love this. I don't think keywords in your channel name are a strategy I've ever seen anyone try, and I also don't think it's a super hack. I think what it does is it diminishes your opportunity to start to grow a community on YouTube, which is super important, especially as we get more and more into the world of AI. All right. Carpe diem. I guess responding to somebody else, but gave us a super chat. So thank you. Her Square says, can't pass 100 subs, need super help. Well, we do hope that the help and the tips we're providing in this live stream have been a help to you. We're not reviewing channels based on super, but we are giving advice to everybody right now, even if we're just looking at one channel. Airing Austin says, is K2 having videos and streams be different? I don't know what the question is.
Bruh.
I apologize if there's something I'm not understanding, but I don't understand the question. Continue to always support creators. Great job, Emilio. Thank you.
Emilio, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Static Unboxing became a member. Of all the sound effects, you're sitting here only using sound effects, and then someone becomes a member and you give them that.
Yes.
I just cannot with you right now. Okay, Delton Adams, promote one video to get my website out. Good idea. Listen, if you have a website, you're selling a product or a service, that is what promotion should be for. If you're going to put advertising dollars behind your business, that makes a lot of sense. Need to watch says, thanks guys for the insight. Love vidIQ extension. Thank you.
Awesome.
Flex says, my channel just got hit with invalid traffic bug last week. Oh boy. Contacted YouTube 2 days later. It was gone. My RPM revenue has been down ever since. I forgot exactly how this bug works, but it is a thing. I'm mostly just going to say sorry that happened, and I don't really have any advice. I don't know enough about it. But it is a problem.
All right, I need to break my silence.
Yeah,
what is an invalid... What was that? Invalid traffic bug thing?
Yeah. So I think, if I remember right, this is when basically like YouTube detects that you have like a bunch of botted views or something like that, even though that's not what's going on, or someone has like put that on you, but you had nothing to do with it. And it's something that's been happening, and channels have been affected by it, whereby YouTube realizes like, hey, you're messing around, and then they punish you and put you in YouTube jail.
Does YouTube actually notify the creator of this, or the creators just jump into an assumption based on the analytics?
Like I said, I don't know enough to say. Even what I just said, I'm not like 100% confident in. But there are stories of, if you type in invalid traffic YouTube, like on Google, you will find some more solid information there. It's been like weeks since I've heard about it, but it is a thing going around.
Okay, very good. I've got to continue following the voting poll. Yes.
Bubby says, I already submitted my channel a few weeks ago. Would I have to submit it again? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every week.
Every week. And we cleared the form just a few moments ago. So even if you submitted this morning, you'd have to submit again because we're monsters. UI Sloth, thank you for the super. Animal Sensei says, should I remove 2 of my videos that did really bad and remake them? I got a new mic and my editing changed a lot, so it's not just a re-upload. No, I'd say you remake them. You don't need to remove them, but you
don't need to remove them. Just remake the video.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you really want to, you can. But yeah, you can definitely remake them. Bryson, thank you for the super. Or not. Melted Cinema became a member. And then our last super for now is Game Life. I started a gaming channel with only 1 game. Should I introduce more games through shorts or a new channel?
Yes.
Well, yeah, but why would you want to introduce a new game? Do you feel like you're ready? Are you bored of your game? Is it not getting the views you want? Like, what's the goal behind it? Like, basically, if you're building an audience and you're in growth mode and people are following you, I would hate for you to pivot so hard that people are like, this is not what I signed up for. But again, like I said earlier, can you play any game but a certain kind of way that gets people excited? Why are you laughing? Just distract. I can't stop doing that.
Dan is lost control, y'all. He's lost control of this bad boy. Also, before we go to the next,
I lost my train of thought.
Before we go to the next channel, just to let you guys in the chat know, you can remake old videos or update videos that you already made, or even if you see another creator that made a video that you wanted to make, you can still make the video in your own way. How many times have we seen Hollywood reboot the same thing over and over again? How many Exorcist movies out there, man? You could think that, it's the Exorcist, but there's like so many. Like, so yeah, feel free to remake content in your own way. You can do that. I don't know where Robin's pointing at, but yeah. It's pointing at Dan, okay.
Thank you for your super chats. Let's look at channels now.
I'm on 60%. Yes, use sound effects. What can I do? I was trying to say, Dan does a gaming video every single year.
Who would understand that full sentence from one sound effect?
I've got like 15 sound effects to play with here.
That's a full thought, and you just kept pushing the same button and pointing at me over and over.
It's silly, but now, Dan, does it make sense?
No. Your title and your thumbnail make no sense.
This is the most British I've ever heard Rob sound in my life. This is funny.
Oh, dear. 59%.
Yeah, because they're getting tired of it. You were at 60. They're like, I regret everything, and they're unvoting. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, gaming channels. We're not doing a gaming channel. We're doing this. 136. Okay. Talons, fish, and I'm guessing it was shrimp, but they typed in O because they were trying to be quick. There's the Discord link. At least I can tell what that is. All right. What are we seeing? Oh, 1,000 views on the latest video. Really hard to read the text.
Yeah. These thumbnails are excellent, but the text is messing them up.
I like the title, like the controversial fish. Like, that's pretty cool. And I feel like the thumbnail without the text is a bit strong because we see a fish in the corner. I would love to see the fish even larger in the thumbnail. It doesn't need the text. I would say a lot of these really, the text is just flavor text. It doesn't really need to be there.
Nope.
But it could be. It's just I would use that space for putting something a little more opinionated and with like an arrow pointing at the fish or the sea creature. The most wholesome fish, And like, what if the text said "best fish?" with like an arrow pointing? You know, that's like a little tweak. It looks like they've had a few stand-up videos. Go ahead.
I've cancelled the poll now, so I can now talk again. I agree with Viper. I think the close-up images are fantastic, and they give a really colourful appeal to the thumbnails. Except for the one with a big like and subscribe thing in the bottom left-hand corner, we can do without that.
Yeah.
But as you say, Dan, there's almost kind of like character building in a fish and giving them like personalities with questions and voices, but they just need to be a bit more exciting and interesting. Like, you know, the most recent one, to be or not to be evil. I can barely read that, and I think there's a better way to visualize that as opposed to text.
But yeah, I've never evil, you know.
I've never seen a fish tank channel or fish review channel or fish care channel, which we've audited in the past, look like this, where it's almost like we're trying to not focus on the fact that they're in a tank and we're making the fish themselves the absolute stars of the show.
I have to say, like, my favorite video here is the setting up a shrimp breeding tank, because the contrast of the white sand with the blue shrimp, like, looks so good. And you can see the nice blurred background of like more scenery, but it's not obstructing anything. No text. It stands right out. And then the title is like Chef's Kiss, like setting up a shrimp breeding tank, blue breeder. Like, it's just exactly, here's what the video is. And even though this is not my world, I'd be curious to see the process of setting up a fish tank, you know? So can you do more high contrast stuff like this? Like, that's like, no wonder that has so many views. And the one before that is another setting up a shrimp tank one. So it looks like this is like maybe a trend for you, is like whenever you set up a shrimp tank, you seem to get a lot of views. Are there other types of fish tanks you can set up? There's not a lot of videos here. So we can just hit on popular and then see that like shrimp tank. And then these recent ones are doing pretty good. 200 subscribers, a number of videos over 1,000 views.
Are they doing any shots? Well, yes, they are. What type of shots are they doing?
Oh, these look nice.
Consistent, strong.
I like the colors a lot in these.
Yeah, are they actually filming inside the tank with like a GoPro or something? There must be.
Yeah, it looks like they are. And
Which
the
is cool.
picture,
It's a good idea.
The image quality is really good. Yeah. I'm sure part of that is because you clean the tanks really well as well. So like it's not cloudy or anything. And I think there's a big level of intrigue, you know, in some of these. Like, yeah.
Call me encouraged and infused by this channel.
Indeed. Okay. So we have another order of business here. We just got a super chat real quick. How long should you edit your videos on average? It's kind of an ROI factor here, return on investment. So like you can spend a really long time editing your video and get very little payoff from that. So kind of like as long as is comfortable, but there's really no good answer.
Is a question. And for everybody in the chat, actually, what is your edit to time ratio? And what I mean by that is typically for me, when I'm editing a video, it's like 1 hour equals a minute's worth of footage. Can be a little less, can be a little bit more. Like John, for example,
that's what I'm thinking of.
Creates incredible videos, highly edited. It's probably a much higher ratio. It might be 3, 4, 5 hours per minute, but there's a real benefit there. However, he does have the skills to really make the time worthwhile. So another question to you at the max is, do you know it? Do you know all of the editing skills? Are you like a highly talented editor? And if the answer is yes, then it may be that putting in that extra time really differentiates you as a creator. However, if you've still got a lot to learn about editing, then maybe it's best to edit to your current capacity and then maybe experiment with one, you know, like each video allows you one new experimentation, and then you move on to the next video and the video to gain skills. So yeah, a balance as always.
Yep.
A balance as always. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good when editing. EV Pulse.
Yes.
With wisdom.
Nice.
Back.
Thank you. Okay. Don't send any more supers because there has been an interruption to our broadcast.